Okay. Okay. I got scared, y'all. I got scared. I got scared. What do I mean? All right, let's just jump right in. I was not able to maintain my daily YouTube upload. The first day, there were circumstances that were beyond my control. Even though I had pre-recorded a video, edited the video, there were things that were happening throughout the day that did not allow me to be able to actually sit down and upload it to YouTube. Since there were elements that were out of my control, I said to myself, okay, it's fine. Things happen. I miss a day. Not a big deal. I was able to upload the video the next day. And then I had Sunday and Monday where I could have easily recorded. In fact, I recorded and then I would stop and then I would start and then I would stop because I just was all over the place. The whole weekend just threw me off in good and bad ways. Well, not even so much good and bad. There were things that threw me off. And there were two things. I guess I'll say the good and bad is that one, there were signs and elements that I'm being stretched beyond my comfort zone, and that's a good thing. So I'm moving into this phase of the me that I am creating and that I'm cultivating. So there were signs of that, which were great, which was the scary part. And the not so good of it was that I fell back into old patterns. So on this channel, and hi to those of you that are new, that I see I have new subscribers. Welcome. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. Please stick around. Please share. And welcome to this community. Welcome to this collective. All of these videos that I am uploading onto this channel are about creating and building a life that is the life of your dreams, particularly for people that are in midlife, particularly for women, Black women. It's really available to all people. All this information is for everyone, but I highlight and I uplift Black women in midlife range of age because there's so much that I feel that we're up against sometimes, and to be able to have someone that you can kind of look at and say, okay, this person's going through the same thing. This person understands what it is that I'm talking about. I think that it's extremely helpful, particularly for Black women, for that particular demographic of people. But in either case, like I said, videos are for everyone. My videos are talking about building, cultivating the life of your dreams. And what that will entail is that along this journey, when that happens, as you're doing that, as you're flexing this muscle of no longer falling into old patterns, doing something different, doing something new so that you can have a new and better and more expansive life, better being an operative word, whatever. There's a lot of stuff that I'm saying right now that's getting all jumbled into this, but as you're expanding into this you that is going to be living out this dream, all of these changes start internally. In order for things to be manifest in the physical, it has to start internally. It has to start in the ethereal, in the spiritual, in the mental and emotional. All of those fields have to be kind of locked in with the flow of this reality, this new reality that you're building and that you're creating. And so I had been doing that. I had been doing these practices of not just saying affirmations and not just meditating and visualizing, but when opportunities would present themselves where I had to then stretch myself, be outside of my comfort zone, I would step forward. Even with fear, I continued to move forward. Even if my steps were small and not big leaps, I was still taking a step forward. I was still moving. I was still progressing. And I could feel the momentum. I could feel God. I could feel my ancestors. Everything around me was just rooting for me and cheering me on and saying, keep going, keep going. It's going to keep happening, where things are going to start showing themselves as opportunities for you to keep moving forward, keep moving forward. And I was doing that, and I got scared off of a teeny little blip. I got, I would even say a sliver or a hint of what it is that I'm moving into, because I already know what it is that I'm moving into, because God and I, we are creating this together. We're building this next phase of my life together. So I know what it looks like. What I have been having a hard time stepping into is the added responsibility. The the way that I have been so dim and turned down, now to be more vocal, to be more assertive, to be more powerful, and stand on that, and to be visible. I think before, I wanted to live this wonderful life and have this beautiful, amazing life in the shadows, which, even if I didn't have YouTube, even if I didn't have a platform or any sort of social media, that would not work. I have to step out. I have to be seen. I have to be visible. And so that means that I have to stretch myself in ways that I had been uncomfortable stretching myself before. And what tends to happen is that, I'm going to speak in general terms now, but this is where I'm at, okay? As as those visions of self become more manifest, as those opportunities begin to magnetize, and I'm seeing myself, I'm envisioning myself, you're envisioning yourself in this life that you're saying, okay, this is what I want, this is where I want to be and where I want to go, then the universe will begin to, I don't want to say create, because you're kind of creating them for yourself too. The universe will then start to say, okay, if this is what it is that we're doing, and I can see that you've had enough momentum where you're not just thinking about it, you're not just kind of keeping it up in your head, but you're also feeling the feelings, walking the talk, and really embodying the things that you're saying that you want, and feeling it internally before it happens in the physical. Then the universe says, okay, cool. Then what I'm going to do now is, there are going to be what appear to be challenges, but they are simply opportunities. And what I mean by challenges is, if you were to look at your life right now, there are certain challenges that come up that maybe you have figured out how to handle. You've learned how to adapt to these challenges because you have gotten accustomed to, like, okay, this thing's going to happen, or, oh, I think I know what's going to happen in this situation. If I do this thing, then you can kind of mentally prepare or have some sort of idea of how you're going to deal with that challenge when you have to face it. Well, as you level up, as you progress and expand in your life, then that means that there are going to be new challenges that are a part of that expansion. They're a part of that elevation. But because you haven't seen it before, it looks like something completely new, something completely different, which it is, to be truthful. It is something new and different. But it's not meant to scare you, and it's not meant to make you curl back onto yourself and say, oh, no, 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 that seems too big. I can't do that. That's essentially what I did, y'all. That's essentially what I did. Is there was a moment where I felt, okay, I'm going to be real specific. Last week, I was just on this, I was riding this high. I'll say I had been in a really great groove where I was feeling internally the me that I have been cultivating and building. I was no longer in envisioning mode. I was no longer in planning mode. And I haven't been in that mode for quite some time. But now I have much more of a concrete, okay, this is what I'm moving into. This is God, you and I, we're doing this together. I'm building this thing. We're going to see it to fruition. We're going to see it to completion. I'm going to make sure that it gets done. And so I had begun to feel internally, okay, when I shift into this expansion of self, how am I going to feel? How am I going to be? How am I going to, like, what does my body feel? What am I thinking about? What are the things that I'm doing? So I started to embody those things every single day. No matter what I was doing, no matter what was going on, I was feeling and being the me, the expanded version of me that I am moving towards, that I'm working towards, really kind of being more in the vibrational alignment, in the flow of, in the current. In either case, I had been in that space and feeling really good. And there was one particular day where, when I tell you, like, the high was just the ultimate. I was soaring, and you couldn't tell me that I was already living this magnificent life. I was feeling it. I was seeing it. It was like, if I would look around me, everything just started to morph into this future me that I was already seeing and was already living. And because I was on this great wave and this wonderful high, guess what happened? Life happened. Life happened, and life threw a curveball. Now, I was able to adapt. I was able to pivot. But then there were all these other, like, shards. It's as if a ball had come and hit the glass on this shiny veneer of a high of me just embodying this idealized self, this expansive self. And then this ball comes, and then not only does it just crack all of that, but there were shards that went everywhere and ended up causing these little tiny cuts throughout the day, throughout the weekend actually, where I could feel there was a test of, are you gonna do the old thing that you normally do, which is curl up into a ball and then not do anything? And I did. I absolutely did. Henceforth, the days of not recording and the days of not posting. And I could rationalize it and say, well, I needed to rest, which is true. I needed to rest. I needed to take some time to just breathe things, while not really intense, and not as intense as they could have been, because things have been intense before in years prior. And so I was like, okay, grateful that it wasn't anything way over the top. However, I recognized these things are happening, and rather than getting swept up in the emotion of whatever is going on and trying so hard to just kind of white knuckle and like, I'm okay, it's fine, I could just recognize, you know what, this is a difficult moment. I'm having a difficult moment, and this is going to pass. This is going to be a fleeting time, right? I don't have to stay stuck in this spiral, in this kind of loop. But I ended up staying stuck in the loop just enough to where I allowed it to take me off track. But the good thing, y'all, the good thing is that I caught it. The old me, old Kendall, would have gotten stuck into this loop of, oh, well, something happened and came along and messed up my day and messed up my routine. And now I just got to go back to the old way. Now I just got to go back to what I was doing. And oh, shucks, I can't stretch myself. Oh, my goodness. See what happens when I get outside of my comfort zone? Things get all kind of crazy and wonky. When things try to throw me off my center, it is not a sign that I need to go back to comfort. It is a sign that I am actually going in the direction that I need to be going in, and I should keep going rather than stop, rather than fall back into my comfort. So this is the video that I was trying to record yesterday, but I was having such a difficult time recording it. And honestly, I think the reason why I was having a difficult time was because I hadn't yet been honest with myself about the fact that I don't want to say let myself down. I was kind of tucking my tail between my legs because I know that I had made this commitment to upload on YouTube. And then I also recognized that I had fallen back into this old pattern of, okay, well, one thing threw me off and now I'm just going to like let it all collapse and be done with it. But rather than do that, I caught the pattern. I recognized the pattern. I was compassionate with myself. I gave myself grace. I said, listen, things are going to happen. It's okay. And today is a new day. I can start fresh. I can start over, and I can pick it up from this moment rather than get so caught up and get so disappointed that something happened that I didn't account for. Something happened that I had to adapt. I had to pivot. I had to change course. And that's life. That's what happens. I want to be able to share these aspects of this journey and be as vulnerable with you as possible, because I want to let all of you see that you're not alone when it comes to stepping out on faith, when it comes to going after your dreams and going after the things that you want. There are sacrifices that have to get made. There are things that you're going to have to come to terms with about yourself that you're going to have to change. And it's going to take time. I don't know, y'all. I don't know, y'all. I'm all over the place and I'm just going to keep up. Listen, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep this in because I've tried to record this so many times and I don't want to go back. And I just, yeah. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Oh my goodness. Listen, stay tuned. Stay tuned for more videos. Please make sure that you like, please make sure that you comment, please make sure that you subscribe if you have not subscribed. Share these videos. This one you might share it with someone. They'll be like, what is this? What are you sharing? Share the videos, share one that you really like. And if you're new here, then please make sure you watch all the other videos. There's some really great content. And we'll continue to keep it rolling. We'll continue to keep it going. So getting back on the routine, y'all. All right? And I'll catch y'all on the next video. Bye.